Rick, thank you very much, and good morning, and especially good morning to all the survivors of last night's Highways Awards dinner. Rick, you did a great job, and you don't look like you've been out all night either, which is great. And I'm Leon Daniels. I'm chair of the Highway Sector Council, and I'm joined by my colleague Anna Delvecchio, who is the powerhouse behind the Highway Sector Council. And so, good morning, Anna. How are you feeling this morning?
Good, thank you. Who would ever thought that we'd left a party at 1 o'clock in the morning, Leon?
Who would have thought it? Well, look, when you get Anna and I from Highway Sector Council, you don't get 20 bullet points on 20 slides. What you get is a sort of double act really between the two of us. And we thought it'd be just interesting to introduce the Highways Sector Council, which was formed over 2 years ago now. We bring together the tier one constructors, the SMEs, the organizations and agencies that represent local government, also central government, and the Highway Sector Council, which is now some 28 people, is an alliance between everybody involved in the provision of highways, and we don't just mean roads, we mean highways, bring together everybody about all the things that we can do better together. And we first got together because we really did know that with a few small building blocks, we could start on delivering much better roads, much better surfaces, and much better value for the taxpayer. So that was your idea originally, Anna, wasn't it?
It was 3 years ago, Leon. But I think the Highway Sector Council for me is really, really important because collaboration is vital in all that we do, both public sector, private sector, local and strategic roads. So the Highway Sector Council is complementary of individuals across the sector, including a number of nominations from local roads, just to make sure that we really are working in collaboration and joining up as best as we can.
And of course, we haven't been going very long, had we, before we were thrust into the coronavirus. And despite all of our really exciting ambitions, we got a special brief, didn't we, from the DFT in the early weeks of the coronavirus, which it was really very exciting, wasn't it? Because many highway authorities thought that during the coronavirus pandemic, that was important to bring a halt to highways maintenance. But in fact, it was an obviously good time to do highways maintenance because there wasn't very much traffic. So we got on with that, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it was a really, really interesting time because the Highway Sector Council had only just formed. And what we've seen with the pandemic, there were areas where works were being accelerated and areas where it was being paused or stopped at all. So what we tried to do is support the Department for Transport, work out how we could really work together during the pandemic to keep Britain's roads running. And as you can see, post the pandemic, the roads have showed how vital they are in movement of goods and services across the UK during and actually post the pandemic.
Yeah, and our project Safe Start was a blueprint, wasn't it, as to how local authorities and industry could work together. And after that famous occasion when a gang of road workers were stopped and arrested by the police for breaking social distance rules, we were able to turn that on its head. And as a result of which, the government urged all local authorities not only to continue with highway maintenance, but to press on as fast as possible. And the blueprint allowed us to just demonstrate how you could do all that work safely during the coronavirus, which I think was good. So the other thing that's exciting, and why are we in the Highway Sector Council? Well, we originally started off hoping for a sector deal, the same sort of thing that exists in rail. Those sorts of sector deals are not really available in the same way anymore. But nevertheless, we have got this long list of offers and asks with government. And those offers and asks are about all sorts of things: skills, technology, innovation, and all the things where we're stronger together. Strictly, this is not anti-competitive. This is strictly about how we get together in order to deliver more for the taxpayers' money. And I think it is really exciting. But we've been thrust into one particular avalanche, haven't we? Which of course has already been referenced, the spending review, because of the cornerstone to all of this is, we all know, and it's already been said this morning, and I'm sure we said many times during the course of this conference, what we need out of the spending review is a long-term settlement for local roads, in the same way that National Highways has it, because if we've got that long-term settlement, then we can innovate, then we can introduce new infrastructure, we can invest in training and innovation and so on. So that's our mission, Anna, isn't it?
We hope so. We hope so. Let's see what happens. I remain positive that we can help the Department of Transport with a longer term settlement for local roads, because I think it's really, really important. And it helps us with people skills, innovation, when you've got longer term certainty. So yeah, Leon, let's hope for the positive when we hear the results of the comprehensive spending review.
Well, yeah, I know, and we're going to know in a week's time, aren't we? And
Yeah,
the officials from the department were tight-lipped last night. I don't suppose anybody really knows yet, but if we get that long-term funding settlement, that's going to be just so good for local roads, because the members of the Highway Sector Council, who are everybody from the SMEs up to the Tier 1 constructors, all the agencies involved in one form or another, you know, we're ready to get together a number of things that we're going to offer in the skills, in the technology area, which will just be so good. So we're very excited about the outcome of the spending review. My guess, and it is only a guess, I have no inside information, but my guess is that there will be a multi-year settlement. My guess is it won't be for any longer than the rest of this Parliament. And the big question mark is, how much money will it be? And I bet you it won't be enough, but it'll be interesting to see what we can do with what we get. What's your guess, Anna?
Oh, I'm not sure, Leon. I think we'll end up with a longer term settlement than annual funding. So I think you're probably right. The duration is likely to be 3 years. It's the value. And what we really don't want is less than what we've got today.
So the other area which is really exciting in Highway Sector Council, and Anna, this is your area as well, the Future Leaders Group.
Yeah, so do you just want me to just give everybody a quick update? So like Leon mentioned, we have the Highway Sector Council, which is made up of the public and private sector, and it really is a partnership in what we do to focus on areas where we're stronger together, whether that be people skills, innovation, business models, environment. So what we did a while ago is we looked at some offers and asks that we thought were vital to transform the highway sector. And one of the areas that we felt was really, really important is showcasing highways as a career of choice. It doesn't matter which part of the sector you're from or what capability or profession you have. So what we felt that was really important is we asked the future leaders and the next generation to really help us understand, if we were to build a campaign to make highways a career of choice, how would we go about that using the expertise and the skills of the emerging leaders, the future leaders, the apprentices, the graduates, leaders itself. So what we've done is we've set under the Highway Sector Council, I have the pleasure of being the chair of the Future Leaders Group. So something that we've been working on, what are the problems that we're trying to fix with skills? How do we encourage the next generation and school leavers to really want to take a career in an exciting sector as highways? So the Highway Sector Council Future Leaders Group will be shortly coming out with a survey for the highway sector to really ask individuals across the sector, whether you're an apprentice or to whether you're a CEO, you know, why do you like working for highways? What is your skill set? Where are you based demographically? What do you see as the opportunities in highways? And that will help us build evidence in terms of what we've got, where our skills gaps are, and how do we incentivize the next generation to want to join a sector which I think is incredibly exciting. And for me, it's not, you know, it's not just about potholes or tarmac, and I say that with no disrespect. There's so much great opportunity in highways. We've got digital, we've got upskilling for net zero, sustainability, we've got asset management, data. We've got so many great opportunities, and I think as a sector, if we could come together as one, we have a great opportunity, Leon.
I think we do, and since the clock is against us, I mean, I just thought we'd also wrap up with one more thing that we know as a result of the work we've done with the department for the spending review, as well as for other parts of their work. Actually, what's really interesting is that there's a lot of evidence that we don't have. There's lots of gaps in our knowledge about the costs, about the extent, about progress. And we were amazed, weren't we, that even though amongst the Highway Sector Council, we've got the chief executives of all the Tier 1 constructors, we've got some really brilliant people. We have CILT and CIHT and a whole range of people with knowledge and skills. Some of the evidence the department needed to go to the Treasury with for the spending review just wasn't available. And it's staggering, isn't it, that an industry that's this broad and this huge and this critical to the whole movement of goods and services and people in this country, absolutely critical infrastructure that couldn't have been shown any more clearly than during the pandemic, is there's big gaps in our evidence area. So one of the things I know the council is going to be doing as it takes a deep breath post spending review is we're going to have to get out and gather some more evidence, because it is that evidence that the department needs to make its case to the Treasury. And as you know, if the Treasury doesn't have evidence, then it doesn't believe it. So that's a big job for HSC. So I think, Anna, that's our time allocation just coming to an end. That's been really very enjoyable. There's tons more to say about Highways Council, but Highway Sector Council, but please, do go across the website. Anna and I are available, of course, to talk about these in our various forums. And we wish you a very, very happy and fulfilling conference, this webinar. And let's look forward to the times when we can all meet face to face again.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present this morning. We'll only be stronger together if we work in collaboration, because we ultimately all want the same goal. So thank you for just giving us 10-15 minutes of your time this morning.
That's great. Thanks, Anna and Leon. Very interesting, very exciting times with the spending review coming up, etc.